Hi dear diamond painters, welcome to Stone Magpie. My name is Suzanne and it has been a while since I've been on camera and I have really missed it all. So I thought today I would try and do a whip and chat. So before I do so, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everybody's messages and comments and well wishes for the period that I've had of health issues. I am still going through those and I plan to do a whip and chat today and explain where we are with all of that's going on. I'm sat in our new house which still needs a lot of renovation, as you can probably tell. But today I'm also going to show you the room that I've allocated as my craft room, to show you what it looks like now and to hopefully do a little bit of diamond painting in there for the very first time. So thank you for joining me, everybody. I really hope that you've got a diamond painting on the go, because I hope we can diamond paint together. It's been far too long. Okay, so I'm heading up the stairs now. Whew, a bit puffed out. And I'm going to show you the craft room that is actually our third bedroom. As you can see, we've still got bare walls up here too. But this is the room that I've allocated as the craft room to be. Now, little warning, if you're afraid of clowns and don't like anything to do with seeing them, then please look away now, because there's quite a few. Okay, here we are, the third bedroom, the smallest room. And here is the very happy, fun, scary, strange clown wallpaper that is on virtually every wall in this room. So, yep, that big wall there is all of that wallpaper, and round where the door is, we've got clown stickers to finish it off. So this is a small room, as I said. There is Ben's old school desk, which I'm going to need to give a bit of a dust before I do some diamond painting on there today. And the reason that this room is taking so long to decorate and we've not taken the wallpaper off yet is because we changed the windows. And on the edges of the windows, don't know if you'll be able to see here, we've got this bare wood. So we still need to get that boarded and plastered before we can actually do any decorating in here. As you can see, wallpaper hanging off. But, you know, imagine what it's going to be like when I've got a lovely diamond painting desk in front of the radiator and all my shelving units and all the organisation that I'm going to put in here. It's going to be a really great room, and it's a really happy room this. It's a sunny room and I love it. Okay, so this is my setup on Ben's old school desk, and because we moved, everything that I have diamond painting wise, apart from the new kits, are all in storage. So because I've not diamond painted properly for a while, I have done like special shapes and made a belt and things like that, but I haven't done a full diamond painting picture. I didn't really want to start on one of my big expensive kits. So what I've done, I've ordered a cheap, really cheap diamond painting from Amazon. I also got some more storage, the little Tic Tac boxes, which are invaluable. So even though I've got a few of these in storage, I've bought some more, and I thought what I'll do is, instead of kitting up beforehand, I will probably go packet by packet and put the leftovers in the storage as I go along. That was my thought. So let's put that aside for now, and I'll show you what I chose off Amazon, £3.99, and look, I thought it was a really fun design, really colourful, really lovely, and hopefully, fingers crossed, quite easy to do, being rounds. So we've got a diamond painting that was folded in half across the middle. And by the way, if my camera is wobbling a bit, I do apologise. I don't think it's the best place on this desk. Every time I'm touching the desk, it's wobbling. I might have to rethink where I put my camera before I carry on with the whip and chat. But anyway, in the meantime, yes, this diamond painting arrived folded in half, so I've got a crease along the middle. Now, that wobble's doing my head in. Let me see if I can help get that sorted. Hooray, let's hope that sorted that problem out. I've now got my floor standing camera stand, so as long as I don't personally wobble, hopefully the camera will stay still. So, this diamond painting I got on Amazon, £3.99, and I really loved, one, the bright colours, and two, the imagery of the lovely happy sunshine and the lady moon. If you followed my channel for a while, and thank you so much if you do subscribe, it is really greatly appreciated. You'll know that I am attracted to the moon and the mystical. So I saw this one and I thought, you know, that is a really fun diamond painting. So I chose this one. And like I said, it had a fold down the middle. So I put it under my mattress last night and slept on it, and it flattened fairly nicely with my weight on it. So I think it's okay to start diamond painting it today. Now, all of my diamond painting accessories and pens, etc. are all in storage. So I don't have any release papers, I don't have any cover minders here at home. So I did wonder how I'm going to do this with holding the cover back. I'm hoping it doesn't crinkle too much as we diamond paint. Fingers crossed. Now, this, as I say, was a very, very cheap diamond painting. By the way, I am affiliated to Amazon. I'll put the links below, but just so you know, I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just like-minded people might want to find these kits and things. So I'm going to try and make it easy for you if that's the case. So that's all. I'll put the links in the description box below. This is what came with the kit here. Move that across. Now, pull that off. In this self-seal baggie, we have the toolkit. And actually, I thought for a cheap kit as this, that this toolkit wasn't actually too bad. We've got 2 diamond painting pens. Now, this multi-placer is a bit too big for me. I prefer the 4-5 placers. So I'm not sure if I would use that, but it does come with a shover, what I call a shover, as well to straighten up your diamonds. So I thought that was pretty good. And a squidgy for comfort grip. And of course our pink wax and a basic green tray. So, oh, and some little self-seal baggies. So not bad for a basic toolkit. Put these aside. Now, as I mentioned, it is a round diamond painting. We've got our diamonds here. Take these out. And I thought, to save myself some time, I won't kit up. What I'll do is I'll use each baggie as I get to that colour, and then put the remainder of the baggie in some sort of storage. I did get the Tic Tac boxes, which come with stickers as well, and this was £7.99. Again, the link will be in the description box below. I am thinking though, because there's only 26 colours to this kit, and this has 64 Tic Tac boxes, I'm wondering whether to save these for if I'm having lots of fun with this one and decide I want to do one of my bigger kits. I could use that storage for those. So I might use some self-sealed baggies for this one. Right, I'll need some scissors, so excuse me one moment. Right, I've got my little stitching scissors, that'll do to cut the baggies open. And whilst I was there, I got a Diamond Art Club toolkit because I thought I could use these baggies as the storage for this kit. So, yippee. I might change to this kit, we'll see how we get on. I'll just start with the basic diamond painting pen. I'll put the shover in the end. Not sure how I'll get on with this tray. They're not great to use, are they, these little green ones? For the worst thing is, they work okay as trays, but it's when you want to put the diamonds back into the, oh, do you know, I'm not going to bother with that squidgy, it's fine. It's when you want to put your diamonds back into your baggies or something that, you know, they're not great. We do prefer the little funnel ends, don't we? Hands up if you prefer the green trays to the funnel trays. I don't think there'd be many. Don't think there'd be many hands up at all. Right, just popping some of this pink wax in, prodding it lots of times to get plenty in. And away we go. Right, so let's see, I want to make sure that I'm going to start up in this top right hand corner here, and I'm not going to do all of this black background. I'm going to do some detail so that we can actually see the detail together today, just in case I don't I'm not able to do a really long time diamond painting. As I say, it's a long time since I've done a full painting, so I'm not sure how today is going to go, but we'll see together. Right, let's start with let's do some of these lovely sunshine rays. Ooh, such a happy sunshine. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to start with D. So looking down the legend, D is number 11. So I'll cut off pack 11 with my teeny weeny scissors. There we go, pack 11. Cut it open, pour them in, and away we go. Give it a little bit of a shake to turn the diamonds around. And there we are. Now I'm not going to multi-place, I don't think today. I'm going to just single place and see how I get on with that. And actually, I'm going to pull it down a bit further. Oh, I'm sticking to it. Ooh. There we are. See, just plonking them down, because it doesn't matter where we start, especially with rounds. With squares, I always start in the top right-hand corner and get them beautifully straight. With rounds, I don't mind so much. Right, let's just cover that up a little bit with our protective cover. There we are. So I hope you're all well. I hope you're really enjoying doing your own diamond painting and that you've got at least one project, if not more, on the go. If you followed my channel a while, you'll know that I used to have usually more than one diamond painting at a time, because I like to change it around a little bit, and sometimes I might do a round with a square, sometimes I might have done a small one and a large one, just to change it up and create some interest for myself. If I had one that was really confetti heavy, I would have one with a bit of colour blocking perhaps, and then depending on my mood could choose which one to do. So I hope that you're having fun still with your own diamond painting. So far so good, and it does feel good to be doing this again. Oh, I really have missed doing pictures. So you may be wondering where I am health-wise, because I haven't been able to do as many videos as I used to do. And I have briefly touched on health issues in past videos, so I do feel like I should explain where I'm up to with it, but I won't harp on about it too much, hopefully. It has kind of taken over my life though, to be honest. My diary is really just hospital or doctor appointments, so it's surprising. And if you have got your own health issues, please accept my well wishes and thoughts for you all, because before this happened to me, I don't think I appreciated just how much it does take over. And yes, it can be very debilitating. So my thoughts and well wishes are with you all if you are going through something, or if you have long-term health issues, then honestly, hats off to you, because it can be very, very tiring. So last time I spoke to you about myself and what I was going through, I told you that it had been found that I had a growth in my bile duct, which I called my little mushroom, and that I'd had to have a stent put in to help with the flow of the bile, because it was making me feel quite poorly. When you've got an obstruction in your bile duct, your bile then can't flow freely, and you end up like jaundiced and with liver problems and things, and it's quite uncomfortable. So that's where I was a little while ago now, to be honest, and I was waiting for a hospital date to have that removed. So I did get a date, and I was taken into hospital and had a general anaesthetic, and they removed the mushroom. Now, I was told beforehand that they would have to check the healthy tissue to make sure that they'd got it all. So they were trying to take out the mushroom plus healthy tissue around it to make sure that it had all been completely gone. And then they were going to send it all for biopsies, and they would give me a follow-up appointment to let me know what was found. So I went into hospital, and it was as a day case, so I went in early in the morning, starving hungry, because you're not allowed to eat anything after midnight. And I do like my breakfast and cup of tea on a morning, but luckily I got in quite early, so I didn't have to wait too long in the day for my appointment. Got gowned up and cannula put in, all of that sort of thing. Checks, I think they asked me about 50 times my age and date of birth to make sure I was the right person. And to be honest, I wasn't complaining about that. I'd much rather that they check that I'm the right person before doing any sort of procedure. So yeah. So I had my general anaesthetic and then didn't know a thing about it until I was in recovery, woken up and had some checks, you know, like blood pressure checks and things like that, a few observations as I came round, and then I had to stay in the bed for a couple of hours just until I got my sea legs, as it were, because you know you're sometimes a little bit wobbly when you come round from an anaesthetic. Before I continue, I am just going to pop these in here. Not too bad, that tray, actually. Good. See if I can tip them in from the packet. Oops, I think I dropped one then. So what I'm going to do with these, and actually it's quite a good way to kit up this, you know, because you're doing it as you're going along rather than it being a job before you even start. Now these packets don't have the DMC number on. The DMC number is on the legend but not on the packet. So instead of saving this whole packet, what I'm going to do is just cut off that number 11. Get rid of that packet then and pop this in here so that I know, oops, then I know which colour that is for. Ta-da! Put it beside me. And we can move on, and I'm going to do C next, which is number 10, funnily enough. Bit of a brighter orange, this one. Cut this. Pour in. Ooh, nice bright orange. Oh, do you know, it does remind me a little bit of Halloween and autumn, this colour. And we are at the end of summer. We are at the end of summertime now, so it will soon be happening. Oh gosh, right. Where did I put my diamond? Oh, there. Goodness me. Okay. Yes, so came round and the doctor came round and said it had all gone well. And later that day, my husband came, picked me up and took me home. Great. However, unfortunately, a couple of hours after that, I started to feel quite poorly, and I'm not going to be too graphic about this next bit, but I felt quite ill and started vomiting. We had been given a sheet with some phone numbers on just in case, so we called the number, well my husband did, and they said that I should really head back to the hospital, which wasn't the local hospital, it was the city nearest us where I was, so we had to drive all the way through back to the city. And when I got there, they wanted to do some blood checks and things like that, and my husband had taken photos of the vomit. Nice. I've since told him that he had to delete those photos. Not the most glamorous, but it was a way of showing the doctor, you know, what had been happening. So yes, the doctor wanted to do some blood tests and said it would take a couple of hours for them to get the results. So I wasn't feeling well at all, sat in the waiting room after having a general anaesthetic. I was quite wobbly and yeah, just not right. So as we were sat on the chairs in the corridor of what they call the SAU, which is the Surgical Assessment Unit, we were overhearing conversations going on from people who'd been there quite a while, and they were all waiting for blood test results, and we heard that some people have been waiting like 10 hours. And I said to Nick, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can sit here on this chair for 10 hours. So basically, I was a bit naughty. Well, you know me by now. I am a little bit naughty sometimes. And yeah, I did go and talk to the doctor and said what my concerns were. Ooh, these green trays, honestly. Oh, hello, Monty. You come to say hello. Don't know if you can hear Monty in here now, but yes, he's having a little wander. So yes, I went to speak to the doctor, and I said that really I needed to be at home and in bed. It was quite late at this point, you know. And I said, could I please go home, go to bed, and if there was anything shown up as a problem on the blood tests, I promised I'd go back in the morning, but at least I'd be able to get some sleep. And so basically I fluttered my eyelashes a little bit with him, and, you know, did a pinky promise that I would be a good girl and return if they asked me to the next day. And he agreed. He said, okay, that's fine. I had to self-discharge and, you know, sign the form to say that they didn't really agree with me doing that, but I was happy to take the consequences. So I signed that and went home, straight to bed, and woke up the next morning. To be honest, it's very difficult because I don't want to go into gruesome details, but I did have a few more issues during the night where I passed blood basically, and it wasn't pleasant at all, and there's a certain smell to it. It was quite a animalistic sort of smell. So yeah, I knew there was a problem going on. Let's put it like that. I really don't want to be too graphic, because that's not what my channel is about. It's about pretty things and diamond painting and sparklies and lovelies. But you know, life sometimes isn't that. And that particular night, it wasn't. Oh gosh, right, so that's the end of hopefully the gruesome bit. I'm going to do the peas next, which is number 20. Talking about pea and bodily things. Oh dear. Oh, another orange. I suppose in the sunshine it is going to be a lot of oranges. Let's get this one open. So yes, I went downstairs the next day. I did eat a little bit of breakfast and had a cup of tea, and then my phone rang and it was the doctor in the hospital saying, your blood tests have come back and there is an issue and you need to come back straight away. So I was good, I kept my promise, and we headed back to the city, to the hospital, where they then admitted me. And what had happened is, where they had taken the growth from, I had an internal bleed and a bit of an ulcer. So I was in the SAU unit, but thankfully this time, instead of being put on a chair in the waiting room, I was given a side room with its own ensuite toilet and a bed, so I could lie down. And it was, honestly, so grateful for that, because I was there all day. The problem was that I'd had breakfast and a cup of tea before I got back to the hospital, not thinking that I would have a problem doing so. So then I had to wait one, for a slot for the doctor, and two, the fact that I needed to have my tummy empty again, nil by mouth and all of that. So just again cutting out this number here. So I spent all day in there and waited for an appointment slot, which eventually happened at 5 o'clock that evening. It's taken back down. This time I was given, instead of a general, I was given sedation, which does, to be honest, knock me out a little bit for a little amount of time. Let's do number 7s. There's quite a few number 7s. Oh, it's a beautiful coral colour. Oh, wow, I love this colour. Let me show you. Get this cut off. Look at that colour. Oh, oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, dreamy. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's quite a few of these, so we can get a few down on the painting. Lovely. So where was I? Yes, I was given sedation, and I do fall asleep for a little while during the sedation. It makes you feel quite woozy, and you know, and basically part of the operation is where you have a mouth guard in, and then to put, you know, they put a tube down and go into your bile duct that way. It's non-invasive, invasive, and that's how they access it. So that happened, and they basically had to inject me with adrenaline and then cauterize the bleed, which wasn't pleasant because I did wake up a little bit through, you know, at that point, but it's fine. You are still woozy even if you wake up a little bit, but it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. So they managed to stop the bleed, and I ended up being admitted so that they could keep their eye on me. So that was it. Then I was back in hospital, given a bed in a ward, with some lovely ladies. There was 4 of us on the ward, although let me think, because quite a lot's happened. Oh no, that's right. When I first got onto the ward, I was given a side room, a room of my own, that's right, which was absolutely lovely. And I could close the door and have complete privacy, apart from the nurses coming in to do their observations and things like that. And the food in there was lovely, really beautiful salads, and yeah, really nice. I mean, I wouldn't say I would recommend the stay in hospital as a holiday destination or anything, but you know, the spa treatments are a little bit not recommended, but the rest of it was fine. And the nurses in there are so lovely, so I was very well looked after. And then after probably 3 or 4 days, I was moved onto the ward with 3 other ladies who were all lovely people. I mean, we did keep ourselves to ourselves, but we also had chats, and you know, it was nice. We had our own privacy, but we were able to have that bit of social interaction as well, so it worked really well. One of the ladies in there had been in for 5 weeks. I mean, wow. She'd sort of made it home from home. She had a little mini fridge in there. She had pictures hung up on the wall. So, yeah, and I started feeling better and better each day. The only thing that was happening really was that when I stood up, I was quite lightheaded and wobbly, couldn't walk very far, got quite shaky, and they had said that before the operation, if I'd needed a blood transfusion, did I consent? Which of course I did, because, you know, if it's needed, it's needed, but they didn't give me one. So after a few days, it got to the weekend and I'd been having my obs, and I did say to the nurse, the sister on the ward, you know, could I possibly go home for the weekend, because they didn't need to really do any more tests on me, and I felt like I was taking up a bed, to be honest, because apart from the observations, I wasn't having any other treatments as such. So I said, you know, is it possible that I could get home for the weekend? Anyway, it got to Saturday and I was so desperate to get home. I'm not saying I was 100% at this point, because that would really be a lie, but I did sort of nag her a little bit. Ooh, I did. I was like, oh. Anyway, they said that I needed to have a blood test and the results to come back before the registrar would consider sending me home. So had blood tests, waited all day, went to see the sister, and she was chasing up the tests. And then they found out that, unfortunately, mine had gone missing. So I had to have another lot of tests, by which time it was Saturday evening, and I was starting to think I would never get home. But finally, she said that the tests were coming through. They weren't perfect, but they could consider me going. Yes, so I was happy about that. So I just pop these back in and we move on to another colour. Pop these in here. There we go. So I managed to get home by sort of evening Saturday. Really by bedtime Saturday, to be honest. But I didn't mind because I was at home in my own bed. Right, let's just cut this out again, number 7. What should we move on to next? Let's see, I think K is a good one. That's got a few going on, so K is number 16. Will it be orange? Ooh, it's sort of a terracotta. So still in the orange family, but there we go. Always reminds me of the beautiful plant pots in places like Provence, France, with the red flowers or strawberries in them. That's what this terracotta colour always says to me. So, okay. One in there. So yes, I got home on that Saturday evening, and I had the rest of the week booked off work until Thursday. I was due back. Anyway, as the week went on, I was still shaking quite a lot when I stood up and feeling quite tired and not quite right. So I went to the doctors. They did more blood tests, and it turns out that I was anemic. So, yeah, and then I had to be put on iron tablets. And if you've ever had iron tablets, I mean, I've heard in the past people say, oh, I've been iron deficient, and I just thought, pop an iron tablet, you know, get on with it. But yeah, I think it's easy to say when you haven't experienced something like it, because it really, really does affect you when you're iron deficient. And what was happening was every time I stood up, my blood pressure was dropping. So it made me really dizzy and shaky and lightheaded and not right. And I didn't realise that's what iron deficiency felt like. So I started taking the iron tablets, and they can cause quite bad tummy pain, and there's certain foods you can't have with them, and you're not supposed to drink tea, have dairy products and things like that with the tablet. So I sort of had to plan my tea drinking, because I do drink a lot of Yorkshire tea. I do. And so I had to sort of plan. I can't do without tea at breakfast time. So I was having my cereal and a cup of tea on a morning, then waiting a couple of hours, having my iron tablet with a drink of fresh orange juice, and then having my lunch at 12, so that it would give the iron time to absorb. So yeah, after breakfast I couldn't have tea until lunchtime, and that for me is a long time. I've probably had about 4 or 5 cups by then normally. So yeah, big change. So I didn't go back to work on the Thursday. The doctor wanted to see me 2 months after starting the iron tablets. But before that, it all went wrong again. So I got back to work and still feeling quite shaky when I stood up and things, but I was managing. I do accounts, so I'm usually sat down. I don't have to walk around a lot. So once I got into my office, it was fine. I just had to go down the stairs once or twice a day, not much. And I'm on shorter hours anyway still, because of my tiredness and fatigue that I've still got. Bless my boss for being so understanding. I don't quite know what I would do if I didn't have such an understanding boss, to be honest. If, you know, if they were pressuring me to go back to work quicker or to be back to my usual hours, I really don't know. So thankfully I'm not in that position. Very, very grateful. Let's get some more of these baggies out. And what should we do next? I think A is shouting to me. Put these ones in. This green tray's not acting too badly. So I think I'll be able to continue with the green tray. Quite good actually to be able to use the toolkit that comes with the kit to show you that if you are new to diamond painting, you don't really need anything else whilst you get started, to see if you enjoy the craft, which I can't imagine why you wouldn't. It's such an amazing craft, so good for mindfulness, really good and recommended. So number 9 I can see is this really bright orange here. This one's juicy, like a really juicy orange. Whoa, very citrusy. Yes, so I did get back to work, but I think it was about 3 or 4, maybe 4 weeks in, I started feeling quite feverish. I didn't know I was feeling feverish though. So what happened was during the night I got some chills, and it was like my hands and toes it felt like all my blood had just gone. They were so cold, and my fingers had gone quite white, and my body started really juddering. You know, like, I don't know if you've ever had it where you get so cold your body judders to try and keep warm. And that's what happened during the night. And we were in a heat wave in the UK at that time. So I knew then that there was something quite strange going on. I actually had to wear pyjamas and bed socks, and I had my microwavable heat pad in bed with me, and I was still juddering and cold. So I knew really that I needed to go and get checked out. So off I went back to the doctor's. Now I had been at work because I still tried to keep going in, and I've got like a little electric heater at work ready for winter time. So in the office, every time I felt really cold, I would put my heater on. Poor Louise. We're in the middle of a heat wave and I'm sat with the heater on. We share an office, and bless her, she was drinking quite a lot of water. Oh dear. So I made a doctor's appointment, went after work one day, and he took my temperature. He said, "You are feverish," and I was sat with my work uniform on, which consists of a black polo shirt and a black fleece, and it was about 26 degrees outside. So he did do my blood pressure and said it was dropping as I was standing up, and he needed to find out what was going on basically. So he took some blood to go and send away, and I went to put my fleece back on because it was time to go, and he said, "Do me a favour." He said, "Don't put your fleece on, you've got a fever." So I think he thought I was bonkers, but I was so nervous about getting so cold again. Anyway, so he forced me not to put my fleece on and sort of laughed at me a little bit. But anyway, I got home, the blood test results came through the next day, and he called me and said they weren't right, as expected. He thought I was getting an infection, and he wanted me to go back in so that he could have a feel of my tummy, see if he could tell anything from that, what was going on. I'm going to do J next, which is number 15. Number 15. Where is it? 13. Oh, it's like this russet brown colour. Yes, so I went back after work and he checked my abdomen, and he said he wasn't really happy with things, and he wanted me, it was on Friday by this point I should say, he wanted me to go back and have a blood test on the Monday morning. So the way that it works where I live is you get given a form, it's like a blood form, and you have to go to the hospital, and it's like a waiting. You go in, you take a ticket, and then you wait for your turn. So it is a bit pot luck on how busy it is. So I got the forms from him, had the weekend, basically resting, and on the Monday morning set off before work, went to the hospital, and it was absolutely heaving in there. Because what I didn't realise was that you know, the doctors give out these blood forms on a Friday and everybody goes on a Monday morning. So I got there about 9:15 and I took my ticket from the ticket machine, looked at the number, I was number 49, looked at where they were up to, 28. So there was 21 people in front of me. So anyway, I got a seat and sat there waiting and waiting and waiting. So it took about 40 minutes. I mean, could be worse, I suppose, but I was supposed to be at work. I'd had to send a text to say I was going to be late in and apologies, etc. But I did it and got to work and then got a phone call that afternoon from the doctor saying that he really wasn't happy with the results and I had to go to SAU, the hospital. At which point I said, really, I think I'm still waiting for my biopsy results from the city hospital. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Could he give them a ring to see if there's any news on that? And could it give us any answers before I go into my local hospital? Perhaps I need to go back there, or it was just a suggestion that I made. At that point, I left work, got home, and by the time I got home, he rang me back and said he'd spoken to the city hospital, and yes, they wanted me to go back to the SAU, Surgical Assessment Unit, at the city hospital. So I got changed out of my uniform. I asked Nick if he wouldn't mind taking me in, and off we set. In the heat, because it was still a heat wave going on. And we got there about 4:30. Got there, got booked in, got triaged. The nurse really wanted to take yet more blood from me, and I said no. I said, I've only just had my blood test results this morning. Surely you don't need to do another test. So luckily what I'd done, I'd taken some photographs on my phone of my blood test results to show them, because in my mind I was thinking last time this happened it was a 10-hour wait for the blood test results and I ended up going home. So I just wanted to sort of fast track everything if I could. So I showed them on my phone and they compared which blood test that they would be doing with the results that I already got, and there was none missing. I'd had every test that they would have done anyway. So very luckily they agreed that they could accept those tests and asked me to go and wait in the waiting room on the chair in a hot, airless, boiling, busy room. Honestly, I cannot tell you just how oppressive the room is there. It's really not pleasant, and it was a boiling day. Luckily they kept bringing in jugs of water to keep everybody hydrated, and there were a lot of us waiting. So as we were sat in there, people were going in and out because you were called for more checks, then taken back to the waiting room to wait. And so this happened on and off from 4:30. Now, remembering we have Monty at home and my husband had come with me, so it got to about 8 o'clock that evening and we were starting to get a little bit worried about Monty because he hadn't got his tea, he hadn't been walked. So Nick and I agreed really that he needed to go home and see to Monty. I was sat there, I'd blagged a sandwich from the nurse, so luckily I had something to eat, and I got a bottle of juice from the vending machine. So I was fine. Nick went home and I sat in this hot, horrible room just waiting at that point to see the doctor. So Nick left, it must have been about 8:30 by this point, and at 10 o'clock I saw the doctor. I was called in to see them. She felt around my tummy a little bit, and then she said that she wanted another doctor to come and see me too. So again, I ended up back in that waiting room. Great, what fun. And about half an hour later, the other doctor came through, called me through, and basically pressed on my tummy quite gently. No, it didn't hurt anywhere. No, it was fine. And then really sort of pressed on my tummy. It was like I was a piece of bread dough. That's what it felt like. And on the F's, by the way, number 12, I'm doing next with this brown colour. So yes, I was kneaded like a lump of bread dough, and still didn't really feel any discomfort. At which point she said, right, you are going to be admitted. We're not happy with your blood test results. We think you've got an infection with the fever, and we're going to keep you in. So I sent Nick a text saying, would he please get a bag ready for me? And I gave him a whole list of what I needed. And guess where I went? Yep, back into the waiting room on the chair while they sorted out my admission. So that was around about 11:15 by this time. And I sat there and I sat there. And then eventually I went to see the sister and I said, what's happening? Because I need to tell my husband where I'll be to get my overnight bag. So she told me that they were waiting for the bed. I was going to be on ward, whatever it was, I can't remember. So I gave that information to Nick and went back to the waiting room and sat there until 12:30. One of the what they're called, people that take you around the hospital on a trolley or a wheelchair. Oh goodness, the name of it has disappeared. Porter, that's it. Oh, God. One of the porters came to wheel me across to the ward. So I got to the ward. Nick had actually dropped my bag there and headed away because he'd been waiting for me for about 10-15 minutes with no sign. So he'd sent me a text to say, I'm heading home, I'll come and see you tomorrow. So off he went. Got to the ward, my bag was on the bed. I had to do all sorts of observations and checks and answer questions. And then finally I was able to get ready for bed and get into my bed and get comfortable for the night, by which time it was about 1:30. Oh, goodness. So again, I was back on a ward with 3 other ladies, and I was really, really hoping that I hadn't disturbed them overnight, because I know what it's like in hospital. You don't get the best sleep at the best of times with everything that's going on and the beeps and the nurses interrupting you for all sorts of checks and things. So I really hoped that they'd slept through it all. So the next day, I had some breakfast and I met the other ladies. And again, really lucky with the ladies that I had on the ward. And we pretty much kept our curtains fairly closed to keep our own privacy, and opened them when we felt like socialising, that sort of scenario. The doctor came to see me, telling me that they wanted to do a CT scan and find out what was happening, and that it might take a while to get some of the checks done. so I wouldn't be sent home that day. So basically I settled in. Nick came to see me and brought some other bits and bobs that I might need and all that sort of thing. I had a CT scan done and they wanted me to have an MRI after that, and then they wanted me to have another CT on my chest. So I did that. So it was all fine. They said that I needed antibiotics because I had a fever and an infection, so they put me on antibiotics, they put me on fluids, and there I stayed really until the results came in from the CT, and unfortunately it showed like I had something going on again in my bile duct, surprise, surprise. So they needed to do another endoscopy. What fun. Anyway, so I was admitted on the Monday, had my checks and saw the doctors. I thought my endoscopy was going to be on the Thursday, but it wasn't. I thought it might be on the Friday, but it wasn't. So it ended up being on the Monday. So yes, I was in all that weekend as well. Everybody took turns visiting me. I was very lucky to have visitors every day, apart from one day. And I was fine because it was a Saturday and Nick had gigs and stuff like that and the dog to deal with, and I was fine. It was absolutely no problem at all because I didn't want Monty to be left too long on his own that day. And do you know what? That day I'll tell you at the end what happened that particular day because it was fun. In fact, I'll tell you now. I'll break up the story a little bit because it's all been about tests and things so far. So on that Saturday, I was reading magazines and things like that, and the nurses are so wonderful. They really are wonderful. And the people on the ward were lovely too. We were having chats and things like that. And it got to visiting time and people were having visitors, and I decided to go for a little stroll around the ward because it's like a circular with different, it's like one big ward with little side wards and then private rooms as well. So I don't know if I explained that very well. It's like a circular ward with the nurses station in the middle, and then around you've got your single rooms, which is what I was in straight after my operation, and then you've got your mini wards of 4 people all the way around the circle. And there's also like a big window looking out with a view across the city, which at night time was beautiful with all the lights twinkling. Really quite magical view. So I decided to go for a little stroll around the circle of the ward, and when I got to the city view window, it was daytime, it wasn't night time. I had a little look out the window to try and work out where my son lives, because he lives in the city. And as I was looking out of the window, there was a really lovely Indian family sat there, and they were trying to pinpoint some sort of landmarks and asked me, Monty, sit down, good boy, sit down, and asked me if I knew where these particular, Monty, he's trying to get comfortable, he's scratching at the carpet, trying to get a comfy cosy spot. Come on, Monty, sit down. Good boy. You've been a very good boy. Yes. So yes, they were asking me if I could work out where this particular land building was. So I said, I'm really sorry, I don't live in the city. I live in the town where I live, and it so happened that her husband had worked where I live, so we struck up a conversation, and his wife, Fatima, she was like, come and sit down, let's have a chat. And so she moved across to sit next to her husband, and their son was also looking out of the window enjoying the view and trying to work out where this building was. And we had a lovely chat for about half an hour, and we were talking about all sorts of things. And Fatima ran a beauty salon, and I was like, please don't look at me. I'm not looking my best. You know, I had limp hair and no makeup on and pale, and yeah. I was like, oh, trust me to be talking to a beautician at that point. Oh dear. I mean, anyway, we were laughing about it, and she said that just that very morning she'd been doing a bridal party. I was like, oh, how fantastic, how glamorous. Oh. Yeah, so I had an amazing, lovely conversation with that family, and I thought, you know, if I'd had my own visitors that day, I wouldn't have met this family. I wouldn't have had this conversation and learned about how this family lived and what they did, and they were just about due to celebrate their wedding anniversary. She was hoping that her husband would be out for that, and I really, really, really hope he did get out for his anniversary. And I did tell them about my channel, so if you are watching, Fatima, many congratulations on your wedding anniversary. Please do let me know if you managed to get on your holiday for your wedding anniversary. And thank you so much for that chat that day. Oh, it was so lovely. So I left them in peace. You see, visiting times, by the way, I didn't take their whole visiting time. It is from 2 o'clock till 8 o'clock. So yeah, they had plenty of time to spend talking to each other as well. I didn't just crash their whole visiting time. Oh dear. Yeah, that was really special. I loved it. So I carried on my little walk, got back to my bed, felt quite tired at that point. I had a little sleep. Yeah, quite happy. And then it was where they bring you tea. So I had a nice cup of tea, a packet of biscuits, and as soon, there's something about being in hospital where meal times and drink times are really quite special. So you have your cup of tea and biscuit, and then you're already thinking, oh, what did I order for my tea? And the food was really good, especially the chicken Caesar salad. Wow. And I don't think I eat like that normally. I don't eat like a 2-course meal twice a day normally. But yeah, I did then. I did in hospital. It was great. The only thing is, like I say, the spa treatments, not recommended. So every morning, 5:30, we had a prick on the finger to test the blood sugar. Yeah, not recommended. And then again in the afternoon. So you end up trying to choose a finger where they can take the blood from because your fingertips get quite sore. Right, I'm going to do number 8, which is number 8. Ooh. Nice sunshine yellow. And then so later that Saturday I had my tea, read some magazines, and generally just chilling really, you know, watching the world go by and whatever. And that evening, tea time, when they brought around your last drink of the day with your tablets, the nurse that brought those drinks round, as he was serving other people, I really tuned into his voice. He had such a wonderful voice, and it really reminded me of a friend of ours that lives at the Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, where we met when we holidayed there. And it was just so comforting to hear his voice and the tone of his voice. Oh, just lovely. So when he came to ask me if I wanted a drink, of course, cup of tea please, and I said to him, your voice really reminds me of a very fond friend I have in Zimbabwe. And his eyes lit up and his smile, so massive, beautiful smile. And he was like, I'm from Zimbabwe. He said, I've lived here 20 years. And so he started talking to me about his home in Africa and why he'd moved to the UK. And oh, honestly, we had the best conversation. For about half an hour again, I was talking to him and learning loads, and oh, it was so special. So even though I didn't have visitors on that Saturday, I had amazing conversations that I maybe wouldn't have had my mum or my sister or Nick or Ben come to see me. And they did come often, and I really, really appreciate them taking that time out to come and see me as well, because you know, you've met Mama Magpie on the channel before. If you haven't, then please do look back at the videos I've done previously and see Mama Magpie. She is the kindest person and brought me all sorts of treats, new pyjamas and magazines and a knitting magazine and crackers and sweeties and all sorts. I really was well taken care of. And I kept giving poor Nick a list of things that I needed for him to bring in and things, and he would get me like bottles of juice and stuff like that. So I really was well looked after, and I really do appreciate all of my family coming to visit me. My sister came over as well, and she's got such a busy life. I really appreciated that, and Ben too. So very, very lucky girl I am. Very, very grateful. Yes, so that was the Saturday, and then on the Monday was the day where I was going to have my endoscopy. So nil by mouth in the morning, and I wondered what time, because I was an inpatient. Normally they do the inpatients on the afternoon so that they can get the outpatients in and gone, which makes sense. But I was a very lucky patient, and I was going down very early in the morning. So I'd literally just gone to the loo, and the porter was there ready to take me. I'd been gowned up, so had my gown on and stuff like that. I didn't have a cannula in at this point because my other cannula started hurting my arm, and because I wasn't having anything done for a little while, they took that one out, so I needed to get a new cannula put in. Then I had some sedation. They went back down and got back to the ward, and a little bit later on in the day the doctor came to see me with the news that it's grown back. Yep, my little mushroom has grown back. And what it turns out is that when they did the first operation, unfortunately, they weren't able to get it all. So I think what's happened is there's been a bit left, and it's now blocked my bile duct again. So while they were down there having a little look around, they put a new stent in for me, so that to help the bile flow in the meantime until they could work out what they're going to do next. So yeah, that's the news really, is that I'm back to square one. I've got a stent in. I'm waiting for another test a PET scan, and then I'll have some follow-up appointments to find out. Oh, they took some more biopsies as well. So, yeah, the little mushroom is quite, well, is it a toadstool? Can't quite get rid of it yet. But now that I've got the stent in, I'm feeling a lot better than I was without it, so that's good news. I'm just, yeah, I'm used to this now. Still quite tired, still struggling a little bit, but I know one day we'll get it sorted one way or another, and I'm really grateful for the doctors for doing extensive tests and things like that. I was able to go home on the Tuesday and back to work the following Monday. So that's me, that's what's been happening. And it's taken me quite a while to go through all of that, much longer than I thought it would. But I thought you would want the whole story to know what's been going on, because in between those times I have been doing a couple of unboxings. I did say in my last unboxing, which was the mystery kit, that I was actually in hospital when I got notification about the mystery kits coming out. And I've never ordered off my phone before, but I knew that I didn't want to miss out on that one. So I did actually order that from my hospital bed. No way, Jose, was I missing out. So that was quite exciting, really, knowing that I was having this kit arrive home. Right, what can I do next? We have got a few Fs. Have I done F already? 12, I think I have. There it is. Do you know, I quite like this system of putting into baggies as I go along. I don't think I'd like to do, well, would I want to do it with 65, 70 more colours? I don't know, I might try it though one day. Because even if I was kitting up into Tic Tac boxes as I went along, I think it works quite well, you know. Has anybody else ever kitted up this way, where you're just doing it as you're going along rather than kitting up all of the colours before even starting your diamond painting? Oh, I might have found a new way of doing this. It means that you get to your diamond painting a lot quicker. Although at the moment my little blue book with all of the names in is in storage. I do find that quite fun when I'm looking up the names of the colours, so I wouldn't want to give that up completely, to be honest, but once in a while, maybe. Right, I've got 2 Ds there. Have I done D? 11, yes I have. There we go. Just fill in these bits and bobs, and then it looks like might be moving on to some blue colours. And you know, I thought I would feel quite nauseous, because I have been, but this seems to be going rather well, which makes me really hopeful that I might be able to do one of my big kits soon. Oh, but that throws me into a dilemma, to be honest, guys. It really does, because I have been treating myself and I don't know which kit to do first now. Oh, how am I going to choose? How am I going to choose? Well, we'll see. I haven't put anything on my community page for ages. I might throw it open to a vote, especially if I do 2 kits. Could I do that? because the whole house still needs decorating. Where would I keep them? Because could I keep it out on this little table? I don't want to buy my proper diamond painting table until this room is decorated, because I don't want it getting dusty and spoilt. I want, once this room is beautifully done, and I don't know what colours yet to do it, don't know whether to wallpaper or paint, not sure what to do, but I do like the background of this yellow. It's a really happy colour. When I've got all my shelving and oh, it's going to be so nice, that's when I want to get my table and where I can leave my diamond painting out. So maybe I should just do one kit rather than opening 2 special kits. Oh, we'll see, but it's so exciting to be in the position of being able to actually diamond paint. How long have I been diamond painting for now? Quite a while, you know. Hey, this is good going. Now I am single placing, I'm not multi-placing. I'm going to do number 2s with this denim-y grey blue. This is looking really encouraging though, because I'm so happy that I might be able to do a big kit again. I'm sure I'd be able to multi-place. What I'm worried about is like the twisting of the pen all the time and things like that, but ooh, I could single place, it's fine. It's not a race to finish our diamond paintings, as we know. You do get to a point where you do want them over, but hey, it's all good. Now, I've talked about my recent unboxing of my mystery painting, which I ordered in the hospital. I also ordered the Apothecary. Oh, I love that painting. And during that unboxing, I did mention about being really interested in herbology and using herbs as healing and things like that. And I have treated myself to a beautiful book. Let me just show you it. I've got it beside me here. Again, I got this on Amazon and I will put the link below. But look at this beautiful book, The Witch's Apothecary, How to Make Magical Potions for the Wheel of the Year. Now, some people might be put off by that title, but this is more about using different essential oils and herbs to make things like infusions, teas, lotions, sprays, and sort of look how beautiful the artwork is inside. And I'm reading it at the moment cover to cover, so I haven't read it all yet, but it's about how to bring those scents into helping you feel good and creating magical moments for yourself with the smells and the teas that you can make. And I'm just really excited about it. And yeah, I just wanted to show you it in case that you as well are interested in seeing the book and perhaps creating your own apothecary to go with that diamond painting, because I'm wondering whether to get those like special little bottles and jars and filling them with herbs and waters and different like rose water and just making my own bath infusions and things like that, and just really embracing all of the feel-good things that come with that. Oh, so lovely. And how herbs, I really want to get like some sort of herb garden going in the garden when we get to bring new plants in and things like that as the house develops. I think it would be really special. And then if I could do that diamond painting and put it sort of within my shelving where my herbs and things will go, oh, it would be so lovely. So I'm excited about that. Oh, I think that was Monty then standing on those, if you heard that crinkle in the background, that was Monty standing on the plastic covers of the diamonds came in. So as I was saying, in the UK, that we have had quite a lot of heat wave going on, and we didn't have rain for quite a while. We had a hose pipe ban because we were just not getting the rainfall, and we've had heat wave after heat wave as well, so quite unusual, and everything felt quite dusty and dry, and yeah. Whereas we recently had a complete downpour, and as I was driving to work one morning, the sun was out, and what I noticed, this was before the rainfall, what I noticed on my drive to work down the lovely road that I go down, it's got lots of different aspects down the road with the hedgerow. There's like a red brick wall, castle in the distance, and lots of different features on the drive. What I noticed was all of the hedgerow seemed to be quite droopy, sort of tired, dried out. Oh, that was Monty standing on my camera stand. Monty, please sit down. Oh dear. Yeah, all of the hedgerow seemed just a bit like gasping, and it had started to turn, like the leaves starting to turn quite orange and yellows, and I thought, wow, it's only just into September, and I thought, gosh, we really, really, really want it to rain. Well, careful what you wish for, people. Because the very next day, let me just get these number 22s out. Again, another sort of grey-blue colour. The very next day, it was a beautiful day in the morning, so I had my work uniform on. Oh, he's done it again. It's like going round and round the desk in a circle, and every time he gets to this point here, where my camera stand is, he's standing on it and it's wiggling. So I do apologise. What was I saying? Yes, so I'd set off for work in my work uniform, and I've been finishing work at 2:30 in the afternoon, and this particular day I just had to work slightly later, only 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes it had changed from quite sunny to absolutely torrential rainfall. I mean torrential. So bearing in mind I can't run at the moment and I didn't have a coat with me, I literally just had my work uniform on and my bag. And so I said to Louise, oh my goodness, how long is this going to last for? She looked on her weather app that she's got on her phone, and she said, oh, it's going to be like this for the next hour. I thought, I can't stay at work for another hour. I won't have the energy to drive home. So I had to go outside, walk to the car, And by the time I got to the car, it was as if I had just got out of the shower in my clothes. My hair was stuck in, just in tendrils off my head, dripping. My clothes were soaked to the skin. Honestly, I was just soaked. And the drive home was pretty hairy, let me tell you, because everybody was driving so slow. The rain was pelting down, so all of the spray off the road you could hardly see. So it took quite a while getting home. Normally it takes 20 minutes. It took about 35 that day. It wasn't very comfortable at all. I was so wet. My car windows kept steaming up, so I had to have the fan on, blowing out as hard as it could to try and stop the windscreen steaming up and the side window steaming up, and oh my goodness. So I got in, Nick took one look at me and said, what? Was I gonna? It's absolutely drenched. So got changed, dried off, and had a nice cup of tea, as you can imagine, to recover. So the very next day, as I set off, my car was beautifully clean because it was overdue a wash. It was all dusty and not right. I think I can go another week or two before I actually need to wash it, because of course we've had a hosepipe ban. I didn't want to wash the car. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I could. Have I done number 13? No. Oh, look at this bright, bright turquoise. These colours are beautiful. So yes, I don't think I could wash my car with a sponge and whatever at the moment. Anyway, I can't use a hose pipe. I think the hose pipe ban is still in effect. So my car can do without for the time being. It's fine. It's been washed by the rain. And those hedgerow trees and plants are looking so much happier. They seem to have really perked up. Their heads were lifted and they looked like they'd been washed clean. So yeah, really, really, really does make us very grateful for the rain and the water that we get naturally from the sky. So I just wish that, can it do it overnight next time? Not as I am due to leave work. That would be good. Thank you very much, universe. Oh dear. It's fine. Our skin is waterproof after all, isn't it? My clothes dried out fine, so it's just not nice having hair dripping down your back whilst you're trying to drive home. And yeah. Right. I think I'm going to do the H's next, which is number 14, this lovely dark blue. 823. I've still got quite a few packets to open, I feel like I've been opening packets quite a lot during this, but still quite a lot that haven't been opened yet. So we'll fill in these H's. Here we go. Yes, so I think I've talked before about not really buying any more diamond paintings as such, because I have got quite a few now ready to be done. Already don't know which one to do next. So it's very, very difficult, isn't it, when we're looking at new releases, to let them go and not dive in. And I have been guilty of that, as we know, with the mystery kit. So I'm trying to be good. I don't have a great deal of storage space, or indeed a great deal of wall space like I used to have in the old house. I need to think of a way of being able to store diamond paintings that I've done and completed, because in my old house we had loads of wall space. We were really lucky, had lots of different walls and big walls, and this house is a lot smaller, so I'm not going to be able to display all of my finished diamond paintings in frames. I'm thinking I might do one of the systems, you know, with the pole, and you put holes in and hang them up with the little pegs at the top and change them around every so often. I quite like that idea. However, like I said, with like the apothecary, I kind of like to frame the painting with something relevant. So if I have my own herbs and bottles and potions and things, I'd like that picture around with that in the middle and the things around it, like a display. I'd like a diamond painting I've got with succulents, with the succulents in, you know, the real succulents in pots amongst it on shelves and things like that. I like to sort of set my pictures in that way. So I'm not sure if the pole idea will work for me, but it would be better than running out of wall space and not being able to display finished paintings at all. And what do I do with the ones that are waiting to be displayed? That's another thing I have been wondering, because you've seen this room now. You've seen it's not the biggest craft room, and I will have quite a lot to fit in with the shelvings, because I am doing other crafts as well as diamond painting. I am still interested in sewing and doing my cross stitch and things. Not that I've been able to do much. I have done a little bit more knitting, so, and I do still like to make jewellery. So I've got all of these different things that I have materials for that need storing. Yeah, so it's going to be tight in here to fit everything in, I think. So yeah, I need to sort of get my head around how it's going to work and what I have shelving wise and what I have storage for finished pictures and things. So yeah, just trying to get my head around all of that. So if you are limited in space in the house, what do you do? I would really like to hear how you save your finished diamond paintings if you're not framing them and putting them on the wall, or what do you do with them? Do you give them away? Do you keep them? I don't even know what I'm going to do with the ones I already have framed, to be honest, because I have got a Josephine wall that is framed. I've got my Elation, I've got the Luna from Diamond Art Club, and oh, I've got my massive Libra from Josephine Wall, that's framed. All of these beautiful paintings that I'm not sure if I've got wall space for. Ooh. Ooh, just spotted an H. There are a few little spatterings of H's about, but I'll do those at another time. Yeah, so any suggestions of how you organise your diamond painting? Because of course I still have the ones that still need doing, never mind the ones that have been done. So there's all sorts of things I'm going to need to think about. How to fit them into this room and use the space effectively. It's exciting though, don't get me wrong. It's exciting to be able to design my own craft room. We just need to find a plasterer, get that wall finished where the window is, and then we can move on with all the decorating. The whole house. Right, I am going to stop there. I am really pleased with what I've managed to get done today with all of those. And they're twinkling away at me in this light. I am thrilled. I'm really thrilled that I've been able to do it. And I'm really thrilled that you've joined me for this whip and chat. I always appreciate you joining me. And thank you so much for all your comments, shares and subscribes. It really is always appreciated. Until next time, everybody, take care of you and keep diamond painting. Keep sparkling. Bye.